Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another super cool radio interview. I'm your host, Matthew Thomas. Thank you so much for tuning in. I got a great band joining me at this time who I'm excited to have on the podcast. Please welcome The Binding Divide.
What's up?
Woo.
What's up? Hello.
How's it going?
Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I know we got quite a bit to discuss, obviously, with the debut single and everything you guys have in the works as well. So thank you guys so much for your time.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
And making up the Binding Divide, we have Alyssa on vocals, Ryan on guitar, Chris on drums, and John on bass. So I know, obviously, some of the audience will be familiar with some of the members in the Binding Divide, but I'm curious, so how did this band come together?
Funny story. So when the Dev disbanded in, December of 24? Yeah. We kind of, after 6 years of grinding with that project, the three of us, we got on a phone call and it was just kind of one of those sad, all right, we tried, it was great, but it's over. And the three of us jumped on a call after it. And I think we just all kind of came to a collective agreement. We're like, we're not finished if you're not. And then everybody just kind of said that to each other. Mm-hmm. And so we just kept jamming. And, a lot of it too, after 6 years of, a lot of hard work, I don't think any of us were ready to just kind of crawl into a hole and, put our tails between our legs and just be done with it. So we just kept jamming and we didn't know what was going to happen or where we were going to go, and so we just kept writing, but we also were auditioning, and we auditioned for how long?
Quite a while.
A year.
Yeah.
A while. A few months, a year.
Yeah.
Several months. We auditioned a bunch of male vocalists and a few female vocalists, and then when we thought everything was we were just so tired of, trying out people and not finding the person that really fit, that gelled and worked with us out of the blue. From the Dev account, we get an email on Bandmix from Alyssa here wanting to try out, and we were like, oh, well, let's bring her in. And we listened to some of her stuff prior to her coming in because she shared some stuff from SoundCloud that she had worked on previously and recorded up in Nashville. And we just kind of clicked right away. She's got a great voice, great work ethic. She's a good human being, so she really worked out good all around for us.
And then, funny enough, I thought I really fucked it up because we were at Rockville that year, and I was seeing Whitechapel. But by the end of that day, it was so hot I had heat stroke, so I was vomiting and everything. And then she came up. She's like, "You remember me? I auditioned," and I have no idea who the hell anybody is at this point. I'm just puking on the ground, So I was like, "Oh, I hope I didn't ruin that." So I had to message her afterwards, be like, "I'm sorry."
Yeah. And we were also, I think I was a little nervous too because I didn't. Obviously, this wasn't going to be the Dev part 2. You know what I mean? We weren't going to carry on the Dev. The Dev was just done. And, with her answering an ad for the Dev, we're like, well, just to let you know, that's over with. You know what I mean? So this is a fresh start. And it was something that, the four of us, could kind of collectively come together and take our time and really build something new and unique to the perspective and the character of who the four of us are, as opposed to oh yeah, cool, you're joining us and now we're just doing the Dev again, kind of thing. So thankfully she said yes and stuck around.
Mm-hmm.
So
For Alyssa, for you, so how was it joining the Binding Divide, obviously with reaching out to them first, so what was your kind of mindset going into it?
Well, I had recently wanted to join a band and I thought about it for a while, and when I was on Bandmix for a little bit, but a lot of the stuff I was seeing wasn't really fitting what I was looking for, because it was oh, do you want to come jam at my house? I'm like, no. Or it was cover bands, and I had been writing my own music since I was 14. So it's I didn't want to be in a band where I was going to be doing other people's music. I wanted the outlet to do mine. So when I saw, because I don't know if you've been on Bandmix, it's almost like Facebook / a dating app where you get to connect with musicians. And they had their previous work on it. And so when I reached out, I was, to a certain extent, anticipating that I was going to be going into the Dev, but really quickly they let me know, this is not a project that we're moving forward with anymore. We're trying to do our own thing. So I didn't really have major expectations, but because I'd seen what they had done before, I was hoping that we would be able to kind of like create this project where we'd actually be creating new content and not just kind of coming and jamming and nobody ever getting to hear the music. So I was wanting that when I was reaching out to them, but also wasn't 100% sure where it was going. Also, because after I sent the email, I went to their Instagram and saw the announcement that the band was no longer a thing, and I was like, oh, dang it.
Oops.
Guess that's going nowhere.
So was your first like in person like meeting one of the band members when Chris had heat stroke?
No, that was afterwards. So we had like a jam.
Okay.
She saw me there. She's like, remember me? I auditioned, and I couldn't remember anything at that point. So like that's why I was like, I had to reach out to her afterwards because I hoped I didn't ruin that relationship.
I actually
you know?
also thought it was
It's like, who
over
are you?
too. Because I was with my husband. I was like, hey, Chris. He was like, hey, and just kept walking. I was like, damn, they didn't like me.
No, that was not the case at all.
No, I just didn't know where I was at that point.
I don't know.
Well, I'm glad with everything that's worked out and you guys released your debut single. But before we get to that, so I am curious for the name, The Binding Divide. So how did that come together?
Well, as you know, coming up with a band name is it's very painstaking because it seems like every time, I've been in a project to try to name, it's everybody has ideas and then everybody comes to rehearsals or something or the group chat and they're like, oh, what about this or what about this? And then it's like you just hear crickets and you're like, okay, well, I guess, I can go fuck off because that name's not going to work. And, I still have notes in my phone of all different things. But, we were very aware of like, hey, if you call yourself something, in a certain way, it's genre specific. So, things kind of take a life on its own and people kind of perceive your name in a certain way. But I'll let Alyssa answer the question because she kind of like sparked the Binding Divide. And so I'll let you finish.
Well, we had been going kind of back and forth on different names. And for some reason, and the name has no connection to this game. There's this game called The Binding of Isaac. And I just don't really know what the game is about. I think I played it once and the name stuck with me. Don't know why, don't know what it means or what it's for, but I liked the way the binding sounded. But when I presented it, like when I said it out loud to everyone, I was like, wow, that sounds like an unfinished thought and not in a good way. It wasn't like thought provoking. It was like the binding, finish your sentence. And I had another name that I thought of, but it was such a tongue twister, but it had divide in it. So I kind of threw out, we were all kind of like spitfiring like different names. And I said The Binding Divide. And I think we like all paused for a second and then just kept like spitting names out. And then Ryan kind of came back to it. He's like, I think The Binding Divide has a nice ring. And it took a while for us to officially like say, okay, this is the name. But from there, we were kind of just referring to the band as The Binding Divide. Yeah. And then one day Ryan's like, okay, are we gonna like cut the ribbon on this thing? Is this the band? We were like, yeah, let's do it.
I think we had to just live with it for a minute. Because again, we took our time, like after we came together, we weren't going to just like, oh, let's record a song and put it out right away. It's like, let's actually build stuff and make sure that we have social media and had a few songs recorded and lived with the name long enough to where we could all be okay with, because, you got to tell somebody the name of the band when they ask. You got to think about the social media aspect of it, like the connotations that come along with it. So I think at the end of the day, we were all just, real happy with the way that we could abbreviate it or just, and the meaning that's kind of behind it as well. It's unique. There's nobody out there that has it too, because a lot of times you'll come up with a name and the first thing I do is go on Spotify and type in that name. And then you see like 30 bands that have the same freaking name. And you're like, well, forget that one, So that was the other thing too, is being one of one and just being unique with our band name. And, it doesn't also scream like pop punk or metal or rock. It can kind of be interpreted, a different genre.
Oh, definitely. I really like the name as well as definitely, yes, it is unique. It was funny, like when I saw you message me on Instagram, I was like, The Binding Divide, who is this? And I was like, oh, it makes sense now. So I remember the reason I asked about the name is because I remember, the kind of process for the dev coming up with the name for that as well. So glad it, you guys were able to find a name and it's definitely unique, as I said. So kind of curious. So now focusing on the single Finding Forever. So anyone who has not checked this out, haven't listened to it yet, what can they expect musically and lyrically?
Well, lyrically, I guess they can kind of expect a story about, I like to say it's kind of romantic and hopeful, but also leans into I guess, deeper aspects of finding something new, whether it's a person or just something you have found that you're just excited about. I wanted to tap into that emotion of like that almost addictive feeling that you get. I guess the easiest way to put it is like when you have a crush on someone and they're like texting you and you're like, oh my God, you know, without making it like that like elementary or anything. But yeah, that's what they can expect lyrically. But I don't know if you guys want to take the floor musically speaking.
Yeah, with the music, again, it was kind of, the song started where like I had the chorus riff and I brought it to practice one day and I was like, hey guys, like, you know, it was one of those riffs that I was just sitting at home and, you know, I was just trying to write something that had like a big, heavy kind of like impactful chorus vibe to it. You know, not super technical, but just something that laid a foundation to allow like vocals and melody and stuff like that to really kind of like captivate. And it was obviously something that was different too from what we were doing with the dev previously. So having that, and then when I brought it to the practice space, like everybody really liked the chorus riff and I was like, awesome. Now I got to go home and figure out what the fuck else I'm going to do because I had nothing else really planned. You know, I was just like, hey, this is a riff I wrote last night at like 3:00 in the morning. Like, what do you guys think? And, you know, it wasn't like it was, it wasn't going to be a technical song. So it wasn't too hard to really piece the rest of it together and just be like, all right, this is what we're going to do. But when we had, because we have about 6 or 7 songs like batched together. And I think it was the first song that we collectively really came together and wrote as a band, where we were just like, oh, it was the first brand new song that we were really kind of working on. And so with that, and then the vibe had like a different groove and just, you know, there's hand claps in it. It was just something that was so left from what we did. Right there. They got it. And it was something so different from the dev. And I think it's not that I wanted to be exact opposite of that, but it felt like the right thing to do so that nobody was like, oh, this is just a dev 2.0 kind of thing, you know? So it's definitely a song that's groove heavy, you know, very melodic. But we put a lot of ear candy in it, and obviously it has like a guitar solo and stuff. So it's still got some of the flavors that represent us really well, but it's definitely something that's different. But I will say the next couple of songs coming out are just going to get heavier and heavier. So, you know, we were very aware of that being a thing too. Because most bands do the opposite. They get heavy and then they get commercial. And we were kind of like, well, let's start off with the commercial banger, and then, you know, we'll do some different things down the road.
Oh, for sure. I definitely enjoy the debut single because it is definitely different, as you guys spoke to. But also, yes, it is, you know, kind of commercial, kind of, you know, has that kind of vibe to it as well. But I'm excited to see where you guys go from here. But kind of curious, so for like all of you guys, you know, is the Bind and Divide, like, is it a different approach compared to like previous bands or projects you've been a part of in the past?
I wouldn't say it's a different approach. Honestly, like Ryan and I've been in bands with Ryan since 2012, and the cool thing about working with Ryan for so long is he doesn't dictate what everybody else is supposed to do in the band. He writes his parts and he says, figure out your own stuff. And
I'm just lazy like that.
No, it's not even about being lazy. It's about giving everybody artistic freedom in the band to express themselves. And it really comes through, I think, in the song, in this first single that we released, because you know, with what Chris and I are doing is not like the stuff that we've written in the past. And it's a lot of fun. We've been able to kind of step outside of our little boxes that we all get into musically and really explore and try to figure out new things and do new stuff. And even with the newer songs, like one of the songs that's coming out, not the next one, but the one that's coming out after that, Chris wrote it. So like he wrote rhythm guitars for it. He wrote the drums. He wrote all these synth stuff, all these different synth pads that are in the song. And, you know, Ryan had to write all his lead stuff. I had to come up with bass for it. Alyssa did her vocals. And, you know, we're very democratic when it comes to writing. Everybody gets to do their thing, but at the end of the day, we kind of know each other so well now that it's like, I know what I can do in a song to where I'm not going to step on anything, and that goes for everybody else too.
Yeah, and you know, with us being a 4-piece, I think that's the thing that's changed with my approach to this project, where like the dev, you know, there was 2 guitar players, and it was a 5-piece, and it was like there was just it was the same style of democracy because there wasn't really one person writing everything, but yet it was still a lot of cooks in the kitchen. Whereas this one, it's a little bit easier because it's like the four corners. You know, we all have our little department, and then we'll talk about each other and just be like, oh, what's this doing and what's that doing? And then also too, with any project, you know, my approach to this one is I've learned a lot from the last project and what worked and what didn't work, and you know, and obviously every time a new band or just in general when you go to start something in the music industry, I mean, so much has changed in 2 years from when the Dev broke up to now. So it's like, okay, well, how do we approach? You know, where like when the Dev started, it was still like a really big thing to go tour and just go out and play. But then COVID happened. And then that set everybody back. And so like with this band, we were like, well, let's just build content. Let's build a catalog. Let's build a narrative online. Let's really try to grow a fan base there, and then worry about like the shows and the, you know, and the runs and all that stuff. So that's been the biggest change for me, is like not stressing about having to go play a show and just like, oh, okay, like what reels are we putting out this week, or like what social media content is happening, and you know, but also keeping in mind that, yeah, we're still, you know, musicians and we play music, and not letting that take over my life 100,000%. But that's been my biggest change in the mindset, is just not stressing the road and the touring, and just have fun and enjoy it, and, you know, learn my lessons kind of thing.
I mean, I've approached Finding Forever a little different than I did some of the other songs personally. We all write our own parts, as we've stated. Me and John kind of played off each other a little bit for bass and drums with that song. Something that I'm trying to do with this song that I've never done for another song before is take more of a jazz approach to it and do a different rendition of it every night when we do decide to perform. So every single time I play this song here in the practice space, I'm playing it slightly differently than what it is on the recording. It's not like, you know, 100% different. It's like 20% different, you know, just a little bit. Some things change here and there. But I feel like that kind of helps with some of the emotion of it. And I get to dance around Alyssa's vocals and what John's doing on bass and all that kind of stuff. So it makes it
nice. I have to play the same. No, I have to play the same thing because it's how it's recorded.
Or else he'll get the side eye.
Exactly. I don't want the side eye, especially his side eye. You don't want to get this. No,
Ryan's,
you don't
yeah.
want Ryan's side eye. That means you're
Oh.
doing something wrong.
I'm not.
But yeah,
I'm just kidding.
And how about Alyssa? How about for you?
Well, this has definitely been a whole different world for me. So this is my first professional project. So prior, I was just kind of doing my own thing, writing my own songs and producing them on my laptop and with my keyboard. And my sound was definitely different. It was more, I don't know, it definitely wasn't pop. It was a lot of ballads, because I kind of stick in the realm of like more ballady, like melancholic songs. That I will say I kind of, well, except for Finding Forever, because that one's not melancholic, but everything else that I write typically is a little on the darker side emotionally. So I did bring that in to this project, but I've never worked with like other musicians before. So I knew it was going to be a transition, but it's actually been but that's why we met, I don't know how many times before we were officially like, okay, we're a band.
Yeah.
We met multiple times to like make sure it was a good fit and we weren't clashing, or, you know, differences in like where we see this thing going and whatnot. And it was really cool joining, because when I auditioned, they sent me some of their older songs and the audition was rewrite them. And I got super excited because I've never written lyrics and a melody to other people's music. I'd always been writing my own thing and working with that. So getting to do that was really exciting. And another thing that intrigued me, because I had a couple of other musicians or bands I was talking to, and they were just like, here's our songs, learn them. And I was like, okay, so I'm not getting any creative outlet, any say. I'm just adopting what you're doing, and I don't get to, you know, be myself. So this is extremely different, but it's still, I think I was able to kind of bring myself into it and mesh in pretty well. I don't have like expectations either of like how things, because like touring or anything like that, I've never done it, so I don't know what any of it entails. But yeah, definitely going from doing it all by myself, solo, not really doing anything, to now it's a 180.
Well, Ryan, I'm really glad to hear with everything of like, your guys' kind of approach with it. I did want to ask about the reels real quick. So, John, how did the stream it, kind of line come together?
That was just me being silly, and I just thought of it. It just popped in my head. I'm going to do something crazy just to be the Stream It guy. So, I'm hoping to trademark that. And
Sure.
if
Every
other
time
bands,
someone says
if
it.
other bands need the Stream It guy, I'm available for a small fee. It's nothing crazy or
For
anything.
cameo appearances.
If you want a cameo appearance
For
of
six
the
easy
Stream It guy,
payments
six easy payments of $9.99.
Yeah.
No, it was just one of those things where it popped in my head. I'm going to do something crazy because the video, it just needed something. It needed something to catch people's attention, and that was the first thing I thought of doing. So there it went.
My favorite is when you open the door and say stream it. That was definitely my favorite.
That literally scared me. Like I know that but it literally scared the shit out of me. It was like,
Man, I think there's a few more coming too.
There
I'm
are.
pretty sure there's a few more. So
They're
there may be some more surprises.
they're good. That one was great because it took a few takes to do because these two, Chris and Alyssa, were just they couldn't keep a straight face for a lot of them. So there was a lot of them where we had to just do multiple takes just so they could kind of hold it together and for enough time for us to finish the little reel and get it done. But it was a lot of fun doing those.
Definitely looks like you guys having a great time with everything. Now, I did also want to highlight the music video for Finding Forever. So, like, how was it filming the video?
it was fun. I got to shoot all of it. We did it on a Sony A6100 and an iPhone. So we did it all in-house, shot it all in-house, edited it all in-house, and it gave me a little chance to stretch my videography arms, which was fun. I love the idea of us kind of filming all the footage in the studio and doing that black and white, and then the performance shots, you know, around the band space in color. I thought that was going to be a great kind of dichotomy. And if I could do a little shameless plug, the next video we're doing is going to be like a cinematic movie. So I can't wait to do that too. So we have like actors, everything else coming into it is going to be fun. So I can't wait for that to come out as well.
Yeah.
That'll be for Satisfied, our next single. That's
And
out.
for Finding Forever, you know, because it was our first music video, we were like trying to just figure out, you know, what do we do? You know, because if we had made it like more story based or more about like the actual lyrics in the song, you know, as a band that nobody really knows, it kind of may have not come off correctly. You know what I'm saying? Like it may have been a little weird. So we were like, let's show the process of us coming together and finding our forever as a band
With each other, yeah, exactly.
And so that's why we were like, and obviously, you know, we were in the studio, we were capturing the footage as we were going along too. So it just made sense to have, it's like a scrapbook first video, you know, where you see the process, you see us performing a little bit, you really kind of get to see who everybody is. And then, you know, from here on out, we'll probably do something different and never do that, never do that style again. But, you know, it was just, it seemed like the right type of video to come out with as the first video.
So, Chris, with filming the music video, was this your first video? Like you filmed like from beginning to end, or were you involved in previous music videos?
No, I mean, I film a bunch of stuff on my personal social media for like drum covers and stuff like that, but it's nothing like where I'm behind the camera, I'm in front of it a lot of times. So I just kind of did the same general vibe here of like recording us performing, apart from when they're like at the studio and I'm, you know, recording them, or we all just kind of took turns recording each other in the studio, and I just kind of put it all together. So yes, as far as like a full music video, that was my first one.
Right on. And kind of for everybody, so like, is it different recording a music video compared to like recording music in a studio?
Yeah, night and day.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you have to come up with ideas first. Like, because we did this in-house, we had to come up with all the scenes and how we were going to shoot everything. We had to. Chris has some great lighting that he owns that he brought in that he had to set up. You know, we had to set up the stage for each shot for the 2x2 shots and everything, and the individual shots. So it's a lot of work.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work when you're doing it yourself, but it's completely different because the music's already recorded. So you're just, you know, pretty much acting is what you're doing for the most part.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that shooting a music video or just shooting content in general is a lot. It's just it's not harder, but it's just different because like you're on like a mark, and then you're just like, oh, okay, now perform. The camera's on, and you're like, I'm not even like, you know what I mean? You're just not in the groove. Whereas, like when I go in the studio to record music, it's very intense. There's a microscope in my head. I'm thinking about, the final product, the immediate, what are we doing? How are we capturing things and tone? So there's similarities, but like at the same time, I mean, I think shooting music videos, obviously, it's just way more fun. It's just sometimes it's very just odd because, everyone's just calm 1 second, then it's like, oh, okay, now pretend like you're banging your head and, like you're just fiery in the middle of like a solo or something. And it can be a little odd, so there is that.
Video is how good do you look. Audio is how good do you sound. So
Yeah.
one is you got to play really well. The other one is you got to look really good.
That is a great summarization of it, actually.
Oh, thank you.
Alyssa, how about for you?
For me, the recording studio, I feel like it's a lot easier. Because, I don't know, I guess it's just having the confidence in my voice and the music that I've written and we've practiced it like a million times. And we've done, the pre-pro before we got in there. And it's like, I'm going in there knowing what I'm going to do. And I've practiced it so many times. Versus like a video, it's like, all right, this is an idea of what we're going to do.
But it could change.
It could change, or like you just watch it back and you're like, wow, I look so weird. Can we scrap that? So I think for me, there was a lot more nerves around recording a music video also because I'd never been in one before. And even though no one's there watching, something about like, because we rehearse all the time together, something about that camera staring at you, even though it's just you in the room with the camera, it feels like a million people are watching you. So I got like really stiff, and Chris was like, hey, you need to loosen up a little bit. Look like you're having fun. I'm like, I'm trying. So yeah, very different from me from the studio.
Oh, I got you. Well, again, everything from what I've seen turned out really cool. It's really cool for you guys. With the debut single, I'm excited to see where you guys go from here with everything, and I'm very excited for all of you.
Thank you. We really appreciate it.
We're excited too.
So now as we're starting to wrap up this interview, so obviously we're in mid-April at this point in the time we're recording for this interview. So like, what does the rest of 2026 look like for The Binding Divide?
At least 2 more songs.
Two more songs are coming out. At least 2 more are coming. Well, there's 2 more that are one is fully done. The next one is being mixed. Music video shoot later this month for the second single that we're releasing, which is called Satisfied. The third one is called Arrows, and that one will come out later in the year. We'll do a music video for that too, and then of course we want to try and get back in the studio before the end of the year and get maybe 2 to 3 more songs recorded if we can. And that's kind of the goal, is just get more music recorded, have as much in our back pocket as possible, so that we don't have to worry about when we're going to release something next. We've got something ready to go. It's just getting all the little nuance done, like music videos and reels and social media content along with it. So we're excited. It's a lot. There's a lot coming.
Yeah, I mean, with with the dev, we really didn't release a lot of music, and I think the biggest thing for me personally with this new project was to like just have more music out there, have a not better catalog, but bigger catalog, to where we're like, we're consistently putting out music and we have just more to offer. From that perspective. So again, like not focusing so much on playing live, but there is going to be a point, pretty soon where we're going to start to build our live set and show so that we have that ready to go. So we're not just like, just doing one thing and not preparing for the other. So like the rest of the year, I mean, I'm not going to say we're not going to play a show, but we may, but it'll be closer towards the end of the year, or like, after the halfway point, after summer kind of thing. But yeah, definitely another big thing for me is just building a fan base, online, and that's done by releasing content and songs and, just being consistent and out there.
So if you want us to play a show, go follow us and get our following up really high, so this way we can.
Yeah, keep begging. But so just get more music done and just stay present and consistent.
Well, right, and to tie into that, so for everyone watching, where are the best places to find The Binding Divide online?
You can find The Binding Divide on Instagram at
The Binding Divide.
Yeah, literally. You can find us on Facebook. You can find us on TikTok at
All at The Binding Divide.
The Binding Divide. We are on Spotify. We're on Apple Music. We're
YouTubes.
on YouTube's.
Yeah.
We have everything all across all platforms. We're pretty much there, except for MySpace. Nobody's on that anymore.
MySpace catching strays.
Tom, yeah, poor Tom.
Poor Tom.
I feel bad for that guy. He was everybody's friend.
I still remember that profile picture
Yep.
with the whiteboard behind him.
Stream it.
There you go. Stream it.
100% agree with that. I will leave some links to the Bind and Divide in the description of this podcast. Please check out, support them. Make sure to stream Finding Forever. All the links will be in the description. But thank you guys so much for hanging out and chat with me.
Of
Thank
course,
you for having us.
Thank
We
you for having
appreciate
us.
it.
It's great to see you again.
Thank you.
Great to see you guys as well. For the Bind and Divide, I'm your host, Matthew Thomas. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Super Cool Radio. And remember, stay frosty.